Hello, welcome to Father of Grom. This week out, we're going to be making some garden planter boxes. Obviously, we couldn't relay the entire patio, and we decided that the problem was this wall had been built too high by the builders, meaning these end slabs were loose, and an accident waiting to happen for the kids. The good news is, one of our kids did actually survive that accident and was keen to have another accident, this time using a breaker to smash out the existing screed to give some form of drainage to the area underneath the planter boxes. After benefiting from 12 weeks of child labour, it looks something like this. Now, using our garden set height, I decided on the height of the planter boxes. I ordered tannalized wood for the stud work from Wicks. I also ordered 35 lengths of 2.4 metre timber deck board. Also bought some screws. The height of the garden furniture was 750mm, which worked out well, as the width of the timber decking board was 150mm, so exactly 5 of those. The front studs I made to 730mm as they were sat on the blockwork. I cut the decking boards to account for the overlap on the corners. I had started from the bottom, attaching the decking boards to the stud work, constantly using the spirit level to make sure the studs were straight. The boards were then screwed to the studs. Once again, be mindful of this overlap on the corners. Cut the boards to as tight a fit as possible, because you can just kick and thump them in. Drill pilot holes for all your decking screws, as you are likely to fracture the wood this close to the ends. I deployed my decking screws using my impact driver. The paving slabs I had removed were repurposed like this to direct any water towards the drainage. Hardcore was used to weigh down the boxes and noggins were added. Okay, that's the framework for one done. Now to move on to box 2. This was a longer box and presented a few problems, namely that my child labour had run off and I couldn't hold it myself. Like with the previous planter box, the legs that were to be sat in the drainage were made longer to account for the fact they would be sat lower than the ones that were sat on the blockwork. Ensure that these legs are level as you go using the spirit level. Where 2 boards are meeting on the legs, mark clearly with a pencil. Bit by bit, start adding your boards, making sure to drill pilot holes for your decking screws. Slowly and surely, it'll come together. As before, use any hardcore noggins to increase the strength of your boxes. Okay, that's the structure of 2 planter boxes done. Now all that remains is to make the planter beds and line them. And if you're a ninja at breaking down pallets, save yourself some money. I fixed these pallet boards perpendicular to the noggins and about 200mm from the top, thus creating good sturdy beds for the soil, which would be at a good depth. As the collective length of the 2 beds was 10 meters, I bought 25 meters of weed fabric so I could double up. I rolled the weed fabric out, weighted it down, grabbed a staple gun and some staples and got to work. I left about 30mm from the top of the planter boxes and ensured that the fabric was not too tight. Then I had the problem of Freddy the fig tree being a little bit too big for the planter boxes, so I would need to cut a hole here. Once the hole was cut, I supported the pallet wood like this. I cut and attached the weed fabric to make a deep bag that would accommodate the roots of the fig tree. I then laid out and doubled up the weed fabric and attached as I had done previous. Almost there. Stay on target, stay on target, stay on topic. The weight of the soil will weigh this down, so make sure the fabric is not too tight. I was going to need a hole in the top layer of fabric to get into the bag below. And that concluded lining the planter boxes. Now it was time for the soil. I bought 20 bags of Wicks multi-purpose compost and distributed evenly through the planter boxes. It was then time to repot Freddy and get him set up in his new home. For the slabs I would be relaying to be flat, I would need to remove about 20 to 30mm from the blockwork, and the demolition drill made quick work of this. I levelled the rubble with some sand, then laid the slabs using a dry mix of concrete. And I performed a levelling dance on the slabs to celebrate a job well done. If you like this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe, and thanks for watching.